Man, I forgot to put on the hat. I just got out of the shower. I kind of look like mangy. Welcome to KO Bets. My name is Bill. Before we get started, please like the stream, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support tremendously. We've got UFC 303 to break down tomorrow. I can't remember how many fights are going. Feliz fin de semana is what I told all of my coworkers today when I left, which I don't know if that's proper, but I wanted to say, like, have a good weekend. So I said happy weekend, and I think that's okay. Doing my, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like Joe Biden last night. The hell is he talking about? Happy weekend, everyone. I appreciate you tuning in. We are at, I haven't checked how many, we tend to be pretty stagnant. There's not like really big influx. Oh, we're at 77 subscribers! Hell yeah. Upon hitting 100, I'm going to give away an NFT, a UFC strike moment. I got a bunch of them, and I want to give them away. You don't have to accept them, right? It's like NFTs are almost like a hard drug nowadays. It's like, you do what? You you buy NFTs? It's worse than black tar. All right, Ricky Simón taking on Vinicius Oliveira. Man, we saw Vinicius Oliveira. He made his debut. He was a Contender Series guy. Had a nice third-round knockout on there, but... Or no, that was a first-round knockout. It was his UFC debut. He had the nice third-round knockout. But he was getting beat pretty bad in that fight up until the third round. Sopaj gassed out. And, I mean, my goodness. Could he last 19 more seconds and pull a win across the board? He wasn't able to do it. Got taken down twice in round one, once in the second, and then just completely dominated in the third and needed to. Ricky Simón, when we talk about wrestling, like Ricky Simón, I think in this fight is just going to ragdoll Vinicius Oliveira for 3 rounds. Like, has Vinicius shown great cardio? Yes. But Ricky Simón's a really good fighter, and this is a big step down in competition, I feel like, for Ricky Simón, and a big step up in competition for Oliveira. So, I don't feel too good about Oliveira's chances. I mean, I think he's got to land that kill shot if he's going to win this fight. So I'm going to take Ricky Simón. I like him as the minute winner. I like him to get it done. He's the minus 250 favorite. We've got a parlay boost. Yeah, and I would probably say I could see a submission, I guess. He's got 3 losses, Vinicius Oliveira. All 3 are knockouts. Wow. But I definitely see Ricky Simón just like keeping this fight on the ground. So give me Ricky Simón. I guess I'll take the decision. Don't hate the submission prop, but give me the decision. The next fight we've got is Ray Saruya taking on Carlos Hernandez. Ray Saruya is 9-0. He is... Yes, he was on the road to the UFC, but he's making his UFC debut. Really good grappler, slick submissions, and Carlos Hernandez, he's less so of a specialist. He's more well-rounded. Probably he'll have a striking advantage, but I think Suyura is going to be... I think these 2 fights back-to-back... I think I might parlay the wrestlers, Suyura and Ricky Simón, because I really like Suyura to be the minute winner here, to take down Hernandez. He's going to wrestle from right out of the gate, Suyura is. He's got to improve as a striker, but I think both these guys, Ricky Simón, Suyura, they've proven that offensive grappling can be a part of their game plan. They can implement it very effectively. I trust them to get it done. Sorry, there was a weird ESPN highlight. It said about the Knicks and the Raptors, and then I saw the Jawante Murray thing underneath there. And then it's raining here. Andre Arlovski taking on Martin Buday. Andre Arlovski, man, 34-23. Veteran of the sport. I can't really remember who he lost to last time. Well, he's on a 3-fight losing streak. That might explain it. But this stretch right here, where he was fighting absolute cans, was a lot of fun. He's taking on Martin Buday, who, in my opinion, has a clear path to victory, which would be to take down Andre Arlovski, ground and pound him into a TKO, submit him. I think if this fight goes the distance and Martin Buday keeps it on the feet, Andre Arlovski's going to make it look really close. And Buday's not going to look like a minus 270 favorite, and... From an output perspective, Andre's probably going to be the minute winner and steal a decision. So let's talk about this one. There's some great bet options on, like we could do finish only. Buday's heavy favorite. But the decision only, we could sprinkle Andre Arlovski as a potential hedge for any Buday bet. Like I said, I like Buday in this matchup, but I'm not like opposed to taking Andre Arlovski just because Buday's, he's not really going for takedowns. But I think he should here, you know, because if Buday wins, I like the KO or submission, something inside the distance for Buday. And then we could hedge it on the other side with an Andre Arlovski decision win. But give me Martin Buday inside the distance. And even if he gets like a round 1 takedown, like I think he could put away Andre early. Michelle Waterson Gomez taking on Jillian Robertson. I think it's been a while since we've seen Michelle Waterson Gomez. I guess it's not that bad. September 2023, but I mean, and yeah, the competition's really good. There's no doubt about it, but like she just hasn't looked good as of late. And what can we? I don't know what we attribute that to. But she's older. I think her path to victory here is stuff the takedowns, get Jillian moving backwards, get her to respect your striking, throw more out there, feints. You gotta almost spam too much in the striking just to ensure Jillian Robertson's like a little bit timid on her entries. Maybe she doesn't get as deep as she needs to on a single leg, and you're able to keep the fight standing up. Because I think if as soon as this fight gets to the mat, Jillian Robertson's probably gonna rear naked choke Michelle Waterson, or ground and pounder, or guess we could see a triangle potentially. And I kind of like the Jillian Robertson submission prop here. Jillian Robertson is the favorite. And yeah, I think I like the submission at plus 240. Michelle Waterson's just not the best on the mat, but she should have a nice advantage on the feet. So I think if you can throw some high kicks, some body kicks, some uppercuts, knees up the middle early, just show a lot of that stuff. I mean, it'll make it more scary for Jillian Robertson to dip her head below the chest of Waterson. So, but yeah, I think Jillian Robertson probably gets it to the mat and submits her. Peyton Talbot against Giannis Gomori. We saw Gomori. This is his second fight, right, in the UFC? Yeah, he fought Gomez. He got tired, got knocked out, didn't have a lot of output, was getting hit a lot, and yeah, I mean, Peyton Talbot's gonna probably dust this guy. How does Peyton Talbot approach it? Who knows? He's definitely like, once he starts to get into those 5-round fights, Peyton Talbot's going to be a lot of fun, because he's definitely the type of guy who observes a lot in round one, and then he starts to step on the gas. Hey, thank you for subscribing. Scriv TV. Do we have PFL tonight? Hey, between you and me, Scriv, I know we're live, but between you and me, just ignore everyone. What's the Twitch rules on that? Is that like fine to do, or? I mean, because on the surface it doesn't seem like it would be fine to do. You know what I mean? Well, I'll get your feedback. Yeah, do we have PFL tonight? Oh yeah, there's PFL. I'm not gonna stream it. I don't know what the rules are, but I'm on YouTube, and I know that wouldn't be appreciated. But I'm gonna type. You ever check out one of these ones? I'm not doing nothing. I didn't do nothing. Alright, YouTube, Twitch, I didn't do nothing. Oh. Which ones are you interested in watching? Are you interested in watching PFL or the UFC 303 tomorrow? I heard that's what actually Sketch did to kind of get popping, was he was streaming UFC fights. But yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it if I'm not going to get caught, especially on Twitch. Like, I don't think I'll do it on my YouTube, but I'm not opposed to it there. So yeah, Peyton Talbot, back to this breakdown. Peyton Talbot's going to dust him, right? The question is it going to happen in round 1 or round 2? Minus, you can't be touching that. Yeah, the knockout for Peyton Talbot's minus 150. I don't mind that line. And then, like, so I was going to just look at these two numbers. We saw Peyton Talbot. He definitely got off to a faster start his last fight, but, like, round 2 just seems to be a better value to me at plus 320. Scriv, I could do it. Just whichever one you're interested in. If it's PFL, I got to start it up after my stream, but I'll do that. And if it's UFC, well, I think we give it a try. You know, I'll buy it. Appreciate you subscribing, and we'll give it a go. Charles Jourdain taking on Gene Silva. Dude, Gene Silva he's a vibe. Dude comes into his fights, he's barking. He's barking on the way to the octagon of Weston Wilson. I wasn't hugely impressed with him, though, on Contender Series. I think he was on Contender Series last year. Like when I was in, went to a 3-round decision. He was barking during that fight, too. Kind of, like, mid-fight barking. Kind of weird. I think Charles Jourdain is going to be so game to face this dude in the octagon. A dude with that kind of antics. Yeah, Charles Jourdain did not look good against Charles Woodson. But, like, Charles Jourdain is not the fighter you bark in the face of. And I don't think Gene Silva can help himself. And this is a big step up in competition for Gene Silva. Charles Jourdain is super durable. I think he's going to be there for all 3 rounds. And I think Gene Silva is going to be in a fight, a different kind of fight than he expects come Saturday. So I get a lot of people like Silva. I mean, the line's so close, it's basically a pick-em. But I think people are fading Charles Jourdain. I mean, obviously we could have, should have, would have, could have. You know, if the Woodson result, like, even if he actually like had a decent performance, like, I think the line would be more in his favor. He'd be more like a minus 180, minus 175 here. But he just looks so bad in his last fight, Charles Jourdain. So I'm gonna say that's a mistake to fade him in this spot and give me Charles Jourdain to get it done. I guess I like the decision, but I'm comfortable with the minus 118 line there. I'll probably attack that tomorrow. By the way, I have my Twitter here. I post my bets, like my official bets, tomorrow morning, every Saturday morning, and we track those units. So we're doing unit tracking. I think we're up like 29%. You win some, you lose some, but we're positive, which is great for the year. I want to be up like 1,000%. But if you go into the night with the strategy, you execute on this strategy, more often than not, we're walking away with money. So it's cool. Cub Swanson taking on Andre Fili. And man, I don't know why I feel so good about Andre Fili in this spot, but I didn't think Cub Swanson looked good in his last fight. Got the win against Dawodu. I didn't think he looked bad against Martinez. I don't know, man. I guess Andre Fili's younger. I kind of think he's ready to. I know he lost his last fight, and sometimes he does make you just want to, get real pissed. But I took in Dan Ige last fight. That's a huge step up in competition. I'm not blaming him. I think Nathaniel Wood's really slick. Cub Swanson's really slick, though. This is probably a good fight to avoid the more I'm talking about this. Andre Fili, we've seen he's chinny. Cub Swanson's super durable. I think what Andre needs to do is body kicks, leg kicks, head kicks. Just like throw those power shots early. Eat up the legs, eat up the body of Cub Swanson. And then if you want to try and find the kill shot later, go for it. But Cub Swanson is durable. We have seen him knocked out, but he's durable. Yeah, body shot, leg kick, knockout. And then it's been a while since he was knocked out. Jose Aldo. I mean, the dude's a stud. I wouldn't put it past Cub Swanson to go out there and knock out Andre Fili either. So it just feels like a good fight to stay away from. I guess given where the odds are and the line is, I would be more likely to attack like a Cub Swanson prop or a Cub Swanson side of this bet. But my official pick is going to be Andre Fili. I just think Cub's a little bit... He's getting a little bit old, up there in age, and then, like, you know, what we've seen from Giga Chikadze, from Martinez, like, Andre Fili's probably best offensive weapon is his kicking ability. So, I mean, I definitely, I definitely, just given what we saw Martinez and Giga do, I think that looks good for the Fili side. So give me Fili to get it done. But don't be surprised if I'm putting a little bit of money on the Cub Swanson knockout or something early for Cub. Joe Pyfer taking on Marc-Andre Barriault. Joe Pyfer didn't look very good against Jacker Manson in his first 5-round appearance, but it's tough. You're taking a step up against an opponent. You're in your first 5-round fight. He was talking a lot of shit, and I think this will be. I think that's just another learning moment for Joe Pyfer. We've seen him lose. He comes back, goes on streaks. So I think just another learning moment. This is a step down in competition compared to Jacker Manson and Marc-Andre Barriault, who's definitely strike focused, isn't going to be, first of all, isn't top 10, right? And isn't, there's not that multi-dimensional threat coming from his opponent. So I think we saw Marc-Andre get KO'd by Giga Chikadze, or was it Kennedy Njokuani? Njokuani. But otherwise he's really durable. That being said, Joe Pyfer punches extremely hard, and Marc-Andre unfortunately is pretty hittable. And he hits hard in his own right. So I like the knockout here. I think I like it on the Joe Pyfer side. I could also see Joe Pyfer going for grappling, just doing what he needs to go out there and win. So I don't know if I love taking a stab at the KO bet, but and then given the durability of Marc-Andre Barriault, I don't even love taking something inside the distance, a stab at that. I think, if anything, I don't really want to use the minus 300 line as a parlay, but I guess it's within reason, right? It's not ideal, but it's not horrible, right? So I'm gonna take I'm going to take Joe Pyfer to get it done. I think he does it via knockout because Marc-Andre is a little bit hittable. And he's willing to stand and trade with other fighters, and I think Joe Pyfer's power is just it's special. So yeah, give me Joe to get it done. Sleepy Joe. I messaged Ian Gary on TikTok. I messaged him, dude, after watching MVP. This would be a great matchup for you if you don't get the Colby fight. And it happened. It happened. I don't know if it's him running his official account, but I think I might be talking to Ian Gary on there, which is kind of crazy. You should. I don't know if his following's increased, but he follows me. I follow him, and I know I shouldn't be proud of that, but that's kind of cool because I think he's a tremendous fighter. I don't know, man. Some of the out of the cage stuff, like the dude's not really doing anything wrong, right? Do people, it's the whole wife issue. She's a little bit older. She's got a book on, being a wag, which is, it's like a high value wife or something. So you it's like she's older, she's got this agenda. It is a little bit predatory, and then Ian Gary just seems so open and receptive to it, and I think her former husband is like his dietitian, and they're all living together. So I think it's weird. But at the end of the day, he's doing nothing wrong, It's just not. It's just a little weird, right? Back to fighting, though. I had to put that out there because I was kind of fanboying over Ian Gary on my TikTok, and I see it too. I'm not saying I don't see it, and I'm not gonna pretend like I don't see it. And he's taking on an MVP. I think Ian Gary wins this. The leg kicks, the well-rounded game. So I think Ian Gary's the better grappler here, but specifically the leg kicks. And don't get me wrong, like I know every leg kick Ian Gary throws, like Michael Venom Page is definitely gonna fire back with straight rights, straight lefts, depending on where they're positioned, but. Yeah, I kind of like the point decision for Ian Gary in this fight. And on the MVP side, and I even mentioned it when I DM'd him. I even mentioned it. I'm like, I think it'd have the potential to be a really good fight, but I also could see it being kind of boring. And I also told him fight against him and Stephen Thompson would be kind of boring. And what I mean is like just two dangerous stand-up strikers, 3-round fight. Like, I just don't know. I don't know if we're going to have two guys looking to counter-strike in there, feinting a lot. I think the volume output might be a little bit low, so it's like, are we going to see that kill shot? We definitely have two fighters who are capable of doing that. I mean, we saw Ian Gary get dropped by that. I'll look up his name because I don't want to call him his Kanan Song. We saw him get dropped by Kanan in like round 1 or 2 with a counter, and then we've seen MVP knocked out. Mike Perry. Bare knuckle boxing most recently got him. But but there's and stylistically, like I think Ian Gary would be more the guy to maybe stand in the pocket, but like both of these guys like to attack from range, and it's an interesting fight, and I think it might be just one of those fights that's not like really nice to watch, just because it's so technical and the rounds will be scored so closely. So I like Ian Gary to get it done via decision. I also kind of like splitter majority decision plus 350. The fuck? What is that? I don't usually take stabs at those if they're worse than plus like 450. Just it doesn't happen that often. So I'm going to go with the Ian Gary decision, though, ultimately. UFC, fix this. This isn't me. Fix it. Myro Bueno Silva taking on Macy Chiasson. This is an interesting fight because, like, Myra Bueno Silva is clearly so dangerous when the fight gets to the mat. But I like Macy Chiasson to be the minute winner in this spot. And my tendency is to typically go with the minute winner. I also think there's some interesting wrinkles to this fight that maybe Myra Bueno Silva isn't necessarily that ready for, which is specifically the length, right? The length of the fighter in Macy Chiasson, who's just like, when she gets those underhooks on smaller fighters and she pushes them against the fence. Yeah, I don't think Macy should go for takedowns. No, there's no question. She can clinch against the fence. She can push this fight against the fence, but under no circumstance should Macy Chiasson be the one shooting for takedowns. That would be a mistake. I like her as the minute winner, but it just takes, like you're saying, ruthless soda pop. Like you're saying, it just takes one mistake from Macy Chiasson, and Myra Bueno Silva will absolutely capitalize on that. So I've been kind of back and forth on this. And again, I mean, we're just looking at the lines, right? Wow, it's a pick'em now. I mean, can we work out some sort of method here where we're getting the Myra Silva submission, Macy Chiasson? We're throwing 10 bones on each, and worst case scenario, we're walking away with 650. But let's check out Macy Chiasson. 3 losses. She has a submission loss to Raquel Pennington, who's definitely a better offensive grappler. Oh, that's a great idea. Ruthless, subscribe. You're smart. I need you to. Oh man, that was big brained. You got a lot of wrinkles on your brain. Mine's smooth. Less surface area. Less room for information retention. Myra Bueno Silva submission. Macy Chiasson. Where am I looking at here? Decision. Oh, here it is. Minus 170. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, There's no question. And Mayra Bueno Silva did show like better offensive grappling her last fight. But like she's not necessarily shooting for takedowns. So that's like my only. But she did show it her last fight, right? I like Macy as the minute winner, and honestly, Ruthless. Like, you'll notice this trend with me. I typically, unless it's like, yeah, this guy's getting knocked out or this chick's getting knocked out. Like, I typically go with the minute winner. It's just, it's in my DNA. So we might just be, we're just two different people, which is good. But I like that suggestion to do the double chance. I might do it. We'll see. I do post my official bets on my Twitter, and you can see that there, or my X. Anthony Smith taking on Roman Dolidze. Both of these fighters, thanks for the follow, Ruthless Soda Pop. Both of these fighters are stepping in here on short notice. I love Anthony Smith. Roman's going back up to 205 here. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit concerned with Anthony Smith's durability and his ground approach. Yeah, I like Ricky Simone. And I hear ya. Yeah, exactly. I went with Ricky Simone. Anthony Smith. Yeah, I mean, like, Anthony Smith could definitely go out there and outclass Roman Dolidze if this is a total stand-up fight, but I think with grappling and how bad Anthony Smith's resistance to grappling exchanges have been in recent fights, like, that's what Roman Dolidze's got to do. He's going to be the harder puncher. He's going up in weight. I get it. I think he's going to be the harder puncher, more violent dude on the feet. I think he's going to have the grappling advantage, and I think he should really exploit that grappling advantage to win this fight. So I'm gonna go with Roman Dolidze here. I think if Anthony Smith wins this fight, I think he's got to come out early. He's got to avoid the leg kicks. He can't get his own legs eaten up, and he's got to hit Roman with a lot of leg kicks early. He's got to be the guy on the gas pedal pushing forward. Roman's gonna throw some big counters early, I think, and he's just got to stay with it, stay on the pressure, and just wear on Roman Dolidze. And I don't really think Anthony Smith has that in him anymore against a fighter like Smith. Yeah, the jab is really good. And you're right, like, even against Hermanson, like, they just, like, fell down into some weird reverse calf slicer shit. And yeah, I think I like Dolidze to just have, like, positional control throughout this fight and do a little bit more damage on Smith. So that's why I'm going with Dolidze here. Smith is super tough. I think it's probably a decision for both ways. So maybe fight to go the distance. Yes, we're getting a little value there. But yeah, it's primarily just the lack of resistance to takedowns recently that I've seen from Anthony Smith. That's my biggest hesitation with him. We got the co-main events. I'm interested to see who you like, Ruthless, here. We got Brian Ortega taking on Diego Lopez. And man, I think I'm in love with Diego. Diego Lopez has been awesome to watch. He lost his debut to Imavov, right? Oh, Ilovit. Too many high noons. But then he's been so awesome, pushing the pace. I'm a big fan of Brian Ortega too. Both of these dudes have shown to be really, really durable in their fights. Yeah, we saw Brian Ortega's not really. He had the doctor stoppage against Holloway. He wasn't giving up, and then he had the injury against Yair Rodriguez. But I think Diego Lopez is going to be the better striker. I don't think either of these guys are necessarily. I would say because of the striking advantage of Lopez, if we're going to see anyone look to offensively grapple, it's going to be Ortega. But both dudes are really well-rounded jiu-jitsu artists, and I think the stand-up advantage is where Diego Lopez is going to pull ahead on the card, the judges' scorecards, and interesting. Yeah. Yeah, and I like I'm with you. I like the Diego Lopez decision here. I mean, what do we think about his power? I mean, it's good. Is it special? Are we gonna go that far to say it's special? Like, could he be the first dude who wobbles Brian Ortega? I don't know. I wouldn't put my money on it, but yeah, I think given the wide range of outcomes, did someone miss weight? Ruthless Soda Pop? Oh, he struggled with his weight cut. I mean, we're putting the mortgage on Lopez then. Oh, but Lopez was probably. Is it like that last week kind of scenario where like the dude Gastelum was supposed to be at a certain weight and then at the last minute? Yeah. That's interesting. I don't know. Diego Lopez is. I think he'll be fine. I got what you're saying. Yeah. That was like Gastelum last week. But yeah, I like Diego Lopez, especially understanding Brian Ortega struggled with this weight cut. What's that about? He's going from California to Las Vegas? Or is it just... I don't want to speculate, but... Is he just mad to be fighting down in the rankings, you know? The main event, we got Alex Pereira taking on Yuri Prochazka. I love Yuri. I think he's a little weird. I think Yuri should get in a real fucking camp. Be an adult. Be a professional. Get in a real fucking gym. That would be my advice for Yuri. Huge fan of him fighting though. I think to level up, right? I'd like to see him in the gym. I was not impressed with him against Rakic. I mean, I was impressed, but not for like the right reasons, right? It wasn't like it was because of he showed resiliency. It was because he like came back and was able to sting Rakic with the shot and ultimately hurt Rakic in this. Was that the second round? But like he was getting pieced up. I rewatched the first fight, and I think, I mean, the Pereira low kicks are a problem, man. It's a problem for whoever's fighting him. I mean, I thought that was clearly Pereira's best weapon in the first fight. It was crazy. He wasn't even throwing punches in the first round, and he might have. It was such a close first round, even without throwing punches, just kicks. Just because you could see the reaction and the damage from the side of Yuri Prochazka, who really relies on kind of unique movement to get over there. We also saw a round one takedown from Yuri Prochazka, and Pereira was able to get the fight back to the feet. And then ultimately, I think where Yuri could definitely stand to improve is this striking defense. Like, it's great to be tough, but if you're fighting someone with the power of Pereira, like, you're probably gonna get hurt if you're letting them, if you're not trying to not get hit. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting. You know, stylistically, they seem so different from each other. And I did see a lot of areas where I think Yuri could have success in this fight. I think output's a huge part of that. Like, Yuri was arguably had I mean, we could just look it up. I don't really want to pretend like I remember, but yeah, I mean, output-wise, Yuri looked good in round one. I mean, the only reason I said it was a close first round is those leg kicks. It was like within the first minute and a half, he was like switching stances and kind of feeling weird on it. And then it's, man, you can't be, stylistically, I don't like that style of Yuri, where he's gonna get hit at some point in this fight, and I think he's gonna get knocked out. And then, like, the dude's great. I mean, I'm sure Yuri's the underdog. Yeah, Yuri's the underdog. I mean, I saw areas where I saw him having success. I just think ultimately, like, Pereira's one of those dudes. He could be not the minute winner, like against Strickland, right? And it, like, on paper, Strickland's the minute winner against anyone. But, you know, it doesn't matter. All it takes is that special touch, and you're going to get hurt. So I think Pereira gets the knockout again. I hear ya. I saw a lot of areas of success with Yuri. I actually, I guess if I like Yuri's side, I like the knockout as well. You know, I don't think either one of these fighters is, you know, it has ever been caught in a heavy decision streak. You know, Pereira, 8 out of 10 wins is, you know, 10 out of 12 fights have ended inside the distance. And then on the Yuri side, 29, 32, 33 out of 34 fights have ended inside the distance. So, man, is this the spot where we go with the decision? Just like throw a little money on it? Nah, plus 350. It's not enough. Plus 3,050. Yeah. I hear you, Soda Pop. I mean, I kind of thought Izzy's knockout was a little it was definitely like Alex. Once he's flowing and he's throwing shots, that chin starts to go up, and he's prone to the counter. I don't know. I thought it was a little gimmicky in the sense it looked like Izzy played possum against the fence a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, I could see Yuri catching him. The issue is, like, Yuri's going to be stance switching like crazy. I don't know if he's going to have the ability to line up a shot like Izzy was able to. I don't know. The leg kicks definitely look like they impacted Yuri differently than Izzy too. I don't know if we can really see those breakdowns with the Izzy fights. Man, this was such a sick poster. Strikes by target. I don't really know what I'm looking at. Like, which color is who? Is that where they're hitting their opponent, or is that where they're getting hit? You know what I mean? I think that's where they're getting hit. I mean, so Pereira was getting off his kicks. He was getting off his kicks in that fight. I don't think he had that much more. I mean, it was like all leg kicks to start the fight, it seemed like. So he landed only 12 leg kicks. They just seem to have a big effect on Yuri's movement during that fight. But I'm going to roll with Pereira. Ruthless, I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks, man. To everyone else who tuned in, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Win some money. I'll post my bets on my Twitter here. I kind of wanted to see if anything was trending. I'm really pumped about the, I'm a Chicagoland guy, so I cheer for the Bulls. I'm real pumped about Matas Bazulis coming to the Bulls. Really excited about that. And then, the Pelicans just made a big trade, trading DeJounte Murray. For DeJounte Murray from the Atlanta Hawks. So that's pretty cool. I think the Blackhawks have the second pick this year.
Seneca. Man, this was not expected. Certainly when the season began. Seneca. Man, this was not expected. Certainly when the season began. Look at his reaction. Oh my God! I mean, this is a shocker.
Don't read lips, folks.
Hey, read the lips. What? Read the lips. We're in Vegas. Read them. That's one of the best reactions. Seneca.
He goes, oh my God. Is he from Seneca, Illinois? Oh no, that's his name.
Seneca.
Who did the Hawks get? Oh well. Alright, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Have a great weekend. I'll post my official bets on Twitter tomorrow. Appreciate it. I got a customer, he's a little old, and every time I talk to him on the phone, he always hangs up saying, bye-bye. And it's funny.